Hello everyone. Today I will tell you about a powerful binary option strategy that is based on the use of the ADX indicator, a tool that helps you understand the strength of a trend and make more accurate decisions in the market. Together, we will figure out how to properly set up and apply this indicator in real trading to increase your chances of a successful trade. Are you ready to dive into the world of trading and learn how to earn wisely? Then let's go. Well, before we start, I would like to recommend that you join my Telegram channel using the link from the description. There you will find the best trading community in which we actively publish a large number of tips and strategies. And in addition, signals with which you can earn money in the market by applying a minimum amount of effort to trading. Don't miss the opportunity and join us right now. I will be waiting for you there. So now back to the topic of the video. So first you need to add the ADX indicator to our chart. To do this, go to the indicators section and add the ADX indicator. Well, now let's figure out how we will trade using this indicator. So the ADX indicator consists of three lines. The first line is marked in blue. This line is responsible for uptrend. Our second line is marked in yellow and it tells us about a downtrend. And the third line is orange and it tells us about the trend of a particular trend. Let's start with the first two lines that we've marked. These lines are trending and they help us determine when our trend is changing. So let's look at the intersections that help us determine this. If we see that when these lines intersect, the blue line crosses the yellow line from top to bottom, then this is a good signal to open a short position. Since this signal tells us about a trend change from ascending to descending. If on the contrary we can see an intersection where the blue line crosses the yellow line from bottom to top, as in this example, then this already tells us about the continuation of the upward movement. Since the signal indicates a trend change from descending to ascending. Well, now let's deal with the third line, which is marked in orange. This line, as I said earlier, serves us as a definition of trend strength. If we see that this line is located above the central level on our indicator, it tells us that we have a strong trend. However, we should understand that this line serves for us as a maximum confirming factor, since the values of this line are not so important compared to the confirming factors. Now let's move on to trading. So I've found the first interesting situation. So I'm going to open a short position. I immediately click on the button sell, and now we look at what we see on the chart. On the graph here, everything is very simple. We have an intersection here in which the blue line crossed the yellow line from top to bottom. This is a signal for a trend change from ascending to descending, and accordingly, it is a signal for a price decrease. As a confirming factor, I can note the location of this level just below our entry point, and the price is likely to strive for this level. In addition, if we look at all the movement that we have seen, we can see a large number of very impulsive and full-bodied candlesticks from the seller's side. So we have literally 15 seconds left until the end of the trade. As we can see, so far we have not had a particularly big downward movement and the price is above my entry point. However, there's nothing wrong with that. We are just waiting for the result. As a result, the trade closed in a plus. An excellent result. A downward movement occurred in our end, although not immediately, but it happened to us and we worked out the situation. So let's move on. So once again, I find the ideal situation to practice. So I immediately open a position and now we start observing. As we can see here, we have an intersection in our indicator. in this intersection, the blue line crossed the yellow line from bottom to top. The signal already tells us about an increase, as it indicates a trend change from a downward to an upward trend. We look at the confirming factors. As a confirming factor, I can single out the breakout of this resistance level. The breakout of the resistance level always tells us about the continuation of the movement higher. Well, the buyer also gave out very good and impulsive candlesticks in his favor in the last approach of the price to this level. As you may have noticed, I work very closely with the confirming factors that I find on the chart. I also recommend that you find them, because the more confirmations you find, the greater the chance that your trade will close in a plus. I usually use various candle patterns or levels as confirmations. Excellent result. The upward movement has occurred. We are moving on. So I found a good situation to work out, which is why I will open a short position as soon as this candle closes. Here I saw an intersection on our indicator, which tells us about a decline. And besides this, we had a large number of confirming factors here. And now we are looking specifically at the intersection. At this moment in this intersection, the blue line crossed the yellow line from top to bottom. This is a signal for continued downward movement. Besides, here I saw a breakout of the nearest level breaking through the support level, and this area always tells us about the continuation of the downward movement. Well, I also saw a large number of support levels at the bottom, which the price is also likely to strive for. That's not all. In the last move, the seller gave out very confident candlesticks in his favor, which are impulses and full-bodied. They also tell us about the seller's dominance at the moment. And just look at the steady downward movement we have here. I think the trade will close in a positive direction, and we expect the result. Excellent result. The trade was closed in a plus. The situation has been worked out, and that's not all. My balance is $707, but we don't stop here. That's why we are moving on to the next situation. So I found the situation, and I will immediately open a short position. In short, I see a good downtrend here in which almost every maximum is falling. And besides that, I saw an intersection here, and so my trade is open for the trade this time. I used $350, and now let's see what we see on the chart. Specifically, we have already decided on the downtrend and decided. However, the intersection, let's take a closer look at the intersection. As we can see here, the blue line crossed the yellow line from top to bottom. The signal tells us that the downward movement continues, and accordingly, here I expect a short. In addition, we have a large number of support levels at the bottom, which the price is likely to strive for. Well, the seller also gave out very good and impulsive candlesticks in his favor in the last movement, which confirmed his strength at this moment in time. The buyer had an attempt to go higher in this candle. However, given that they did not go higher, this movement is most likely based on nothing and was false. As I said, there was a downward movement and the trade closed in plus. Let's summarize the results. In just 4 trades, I was able to increase my balance by more than 10 times by trading using this strategy. And I think this is a great result because this indicator is provided by our trading platform for free. Just like all other indicators, absolutely every one of you could repeat this result with the right approach. Well, that concludes this video. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to join my Signals Telegram channel. Bye bye.